Hi, this is Ms. Goodwin. Today I'm going over Objective 4.2b. So we're going to be using trigonometry to calculate sides. Remember, at the end of the objective, you want to be at least proficient, so level 3, which means you can use trigonometric ratios and their inverses to solve for missing parts in triangles, given a compound figure with multiple triangles. So yesterday we went over the 3 trig ratios, sine, cosine, and tangent. Remember, each of these is a ratio of 2 sides of a right triangle. Sine is equal to the opposite side over the hypotenuse side. Cosine of your angle is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse side. And lastly, tangent of our angle is equal to the opposite side over the adjacent side. If you struggle to remember that, here's a little mnemonic. Some old hippie caught another hippie tripping on acid. Okay? So some old hippie, sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. Caught another hippie, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Tripping on acid, tangent equals opposite over adjacent. So example 1, we want to find the missing side and make sure we round to the nearest 10th place. The first step is to identify what side you have and what side you are looking for. So I see our reference angle is here, 59 degrees. Okay? We have our opposite and we are looking for our hypotenuse. So that means we are going to use sine because that is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. Once we know what trig function we're going to use, we're going to set it up as a proportion. So sine of 59 degrees equals 12 over x. And then we just solve that. I'm going to put sine of 59 over 1 because then, just like 4.1, we can cross multiply. So we get 1 times 12, which is equal to 12. And then we get x times sine of 59. Now we have 12 equals x times sine of 59. Sine of 59 is a number on its own. We can do that in the calculator. Okay? So what you can do here is divide both sides by sine of 59. Okay? The sine of 59's over here cancel, leaving us with 12x equals 12 over sine of 59, which when we plug that into a calculator, get 12 divided by sine of 59, close parentheses, enter that, we get 13.999, which when we round to the nearest tenths, that gives us about 14.0. And we're done. That's all you got to do. Let's go over a couple more examples. Example 2 here, we want to find the missing side, round into nearest tenths again. So we're given this angle of 23 degrees. We have this side, which is the adjacent. And then we are looking for this side, which is our hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse means we're using cosine. which is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So now I'm going to set that up. Cosine of 23 degrees, and I'm just going to put that over 1 right now. That equals the adjacent, which is 15, divided by our hypotenuse, which is x. And then solve just like we did the previous problem. So now we have x times cosine of 23 equals 1 times 15 is just 15. Just like before, we can divide by cosine of 23 on both sides. Cosine of 23 cancels on the left, leaving us with x equals 15 over cosine of 23, which in a calculator, let's see, it's 15 divided by cosine of 23. We get 16.295. Rounding to the nearest tenth, that's going to be 16.3. And that's it. Let's do one more example. Want to find the missing side, rounding to the nearest tenth again. So let's see here, this is our angle, 65 degrees. We have our adjacent, and we are looking for our opposite. That means we are going to use tangent, because tangent is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. So let's plug in our values. Tangent is 65 degrees over 1 equals the opposite, which is x, over the adjacent, which is 16. Cross multiply like before. We get 1 times x, which is just x, equals 16 times tangent of 65. Now here, this is 16 times tangent of 65. X is alone already. So all we have to do is multiply those in our calculator. So I'm going to type 16 times tangent 65, close parentheses, oops, that equals 34.31, which rounds to 34.3. And that's it. I know some of you will be using the Desmos calculator, so I want to make sure you have it set up correctly. So first thing we need to do is make sure our graph is in degrees. So click this little wrench right here and click degrees. Now when you put your function in, it should give you the proper answer, or the answer I'm looking for. So first we wanted to plug in 12 divided by sine of 59. So I'm going to write 12 divided by, and that opens a fraction. And then I'm going to go to functions and click sine. In these parentheses that pop up, I'm going to type 59. And right here we got 13.999, which is equal to 13, or which is about 14. Our next one was 15 divided by cosine of 23. Now you can also just type in COS for cosine and then do parentheses. So you can also type in your answer, and as we see, that gave us about 16.3. And it works with multiplication too. We had 16 times tangent of 65. So I'm going to do 16 times tangent 65, close parentheses. There we go, 34.3. That is all. Bye! That's it for today. Make sure in your notes you try the 6 problems right here and you finish the summary. Hope you have a great day. Bye!